Howdy, y'all. I wanted to take a little bit of a break from doing movie reviews to just do a little impromptu haul video. Got a stack of comic books here. Went to the comic book store yesterday, grabbed a crap load of them. And some of these are actually from Christmas that I just wanted to kind of just go through what I snagged and what I got, kind of show you guys what I like to collect. I've been a comic book collector since late 80s, early 90s. Back then, I was a big-time Marvel fanboy, and haven't been collecting Marvel or really any more recent comic books lately. I kind of got out of superheroes. I'm not real into the Caped Crusaders or anything anymore. I'll pick one up here and there if it looks interesting or weird, but now I love to go back and find things that I did not know existed, or just, you know, weird stuff that wasn't on my radar back in the day. And if there's something new out there that looks interesting, I'll pick that up. But this one, starting things off, this is the Hacker Files. I'm real big into cyberpunk, and I really like real-world hackers. I have no clue how to use a computer beyond turning it on and accidentally downloading viruses and things, but hackers just fascinate me. It's like advanced mathematicians. I'm super into advanced mathematics, even though I can barely do my multiplication tables. It's like watching a virtuoso guitar player, and the way that they're able to take something that I have no understanding of, and they can manipulate it and make it do crazy things that go beyond what was probably originally intended with them or for them. And you know, if you watch someone who really knows how to play guitar, and you watch what they're able to do with their hands and the things that they're able to make that instrument do, and they're able to do it. They've been doing it for so long, and they're at such an advanced level that they're able to do it. They're able to make their hands move in a way that it's as easy for them to do it as it is for me to stumble through what this horrid explanation of it. And the same thing with hackers, like the way they're able to just, with a thought, crack into different systems and do things like that. It's a really cool subculture. Again, I have no idea how computers work, but when I saw this, I had to have it because, again, cyberpunk hacker stuff, just really interesting. Doesn't involve superhero. It kind of does. It's DC, and it takes place within the DC over universe, I guess. There are superheroes mentioned in this, so it's not like just some separate story, but looked really interesting. I love computer generated artwork from the 90s. There's a comic book called Shatter. It touts itself as being the first computer drawn comic book, and just the pixelation and the gradients and whatnot, just kind of, by today's comparison, or by today's standards, real low-tech looking, but there's something about it. You know, 80s cyberpunk, 90s cyberpunk is just way cooler than the future that we're living in now. It's just so sterile and boring. And back then, I mean, this is what you thought hacking and surfing the internet was gonna look like, literally flying through these weird polygonal blocks of information and whatnot. And you know, unfortunately, it's just boring compared to that. So Hacker Files, got the whole set of that, 12 issues. So far, it's the artwork is okay, the writing is okay. It's nothing amazing, but it's still fun to read. So, and we've got Bram Stoker's Dracula, probably my favorite vampire movie of all time. Mike Mignola is an artist that, back in the day, I love Hellboy. Hellboy is my favorite comic book. And back in the day, I did not like Mignola's art at all. I was still in the Jim Lee you know, the whole image revolution, or the 90s Marvel style of art where everybody was copying Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane and guys like that, Rob Liefeld. And I didn't understand, I guess, Mike Mignola's art. It's so blocky, and I don't know how to describe it, but as I've gone on, he's kind of become probably my favorite comic book artist. The way he draws and the way his art looks it reminds me now more of less of like comic book art and more like a stained glass window, where you have big blocks of solid color with just these you know how a stained glass window look, and to me that's what his art looks like, and it's grown on me. And this is really good. One of the main reasons I got it, beyond the fact that I just love this movie, is he described an ending that he wanted to do for this. Coppola asked him about if he had any ideas for the movie, and he thought of this really cool ending. He talked about it over on with the guys over at Cartoon Kayfabe. Rest in peace, Ed Pisker. But it's just, oh my god, dude, if that ending had been filmed, like, I like the way the movie ends, but his ending would have just been so amazing to see on the screen. And I thought that maybe it had gotten put into this. It's not. This is pretty much a note-for-note retelling of the movie, which is fine. There are some extra things in it, but Mignola's art is just awesome. Great covers. He's probably for my money, probably the king of covers. I love his covers. Oh, more hacker files. There we go. Dune. Got this one for Christmas too. One of my favorite movies of all time. This one blows the Denis Villeneuve movie out of the water. Just when I was a kid, I saw this movie on television, had no clue what the hell was going on, but the visuals just melted my brain. It's such an amazing movie visually. I like it story-wise too. I know it diverges from the book, but not as much as some people think. I mean, the ending is a major diversion from the book, but I talked about that more in my sort of comparison between David Lynch's Dune and Denis Villeneuve's Dune. But I love these old Marvel movie tie-ins too. I've got a few of them. I've got Time Bandits, I think 2010, the year we made contact. But they did a lot of these in the 80s because this was when, I believe this was still when Jim Shooter was there, and they were kind of in a little bit of a financial funk, and they were looking for ways to make a little extra dough. And so Shooter would contact, movie companies, toy companies, and or they would contact Marvel, and they would make a comic book tie-in to, in this case, their movie, in order to, I guess, generate a little bit of hype. In some cases, like with some of the toys, it was literally to provide the background story. Star Years is a comic book that Marvel put out that was a tie-in to a toy line called Star Years, and it tells the entire backstory of that whole little universe, and it's got amazing covers by Bill Sienkiewicz. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I think these covers are done. I think he does all the art in this one, Bill Sienkiewicz. He's an amazing artist. And but Star Years is it's really cool, and it's way better written than probably a toy tie-in comic book has any right to be. They also did one for a slot car toy called US1 about big rigs, made back during the trucker the heyday of like the trucker fanaticism that swept the nation. People were obsessed with truckers and CBs, and you had all the movies like Convoy and Every Which Way But Loose. But that's one of my favorite comic books ever. It's so bizarre. I need to do a video on it. But Dune, yeah, I love this. I want to collect not everything Dune. I don't go out of my way to have like complete collections of things, but I just fucking love that movie, and I love the Marvel movie and toy tie-ins. Psychonauts. So when I go to the comic book store, I basically live in the dollar box. The dollar box, the 50-cent box, the quarter box, all of that. That's where I'm gonna find the stuff that I'm into. I don't go out of my way really to collect any of the stuff that, maybe some of the stuff that I used to be into as a kid, but now I'm always on the hunt for stuff that I don't know about, stuff I didn't know exists, stuff that nobody talks about. This Psychonauts from Epic, I have no clue what it's about. 50 cents, how can you go wrong? Says it's the first ever American-Japanese creatively co-produced comic book. So there you go. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I hope it tells a complete story, like if you get the other issues. I hope it's not one of those unfortunate events where something doesn't sell, tells an interesting story, winds up not selling, and then it ends on a cliffhanger. Sometimes that's the risk you take. But figured I'd check that one out. It's got a good cover, good artwork. Almost looks like Eddie Murphy over here. And this guy's almost got one of those P90s. So, I don't know. Hopefully it's interesting. This kind of stuff, I love. These are like comic books that Radio Shack put out as sort of little adverts to get kids interested in their computers, I guess. So it's not just Whiz Kids. The title of the comic book is literally TRS-80 Computer Whiz Kids. So it rolls off the tongue. So I haven't read it yet, but I'm guessing Alec and Shanna here are kind of like maybe if not the Hardy Boys, then the Hardy siblings, and maybe they go around solving crimes with their Tandy TRS-80 computer. So that should be cool. I don't know how they're going to use it to stop these ne'er-do-wells from doing whatever the hell it is they're doing on the dock over here. It doesn't look like they're really doing any computer-based crimes that a Tandy computer could solve, but who the hell knows? Also, something I love in these old comic books, probably not so much in this one, but going back and reading the old comic books, you find a lot of old ads and things too. And so you wind up finding, now this one's going to be nothing but ads for Tandy computers, but in a lot of these old comic books, I'll find advertisements for other comic books that I had no clue existed, which is, I love it. It's like a rabbit hole that just keeps going. There's just no stopping us now, right? There's no stopping me when I get rolling. Arion, Lord of Atlantis. I've got a few of these. I'm looking to collect the whole run. I have no idea what it's about. I haven't read a single panel of Arion, believe it or not, but it's right up my alley. At least it looks like it is, because DC and I guess Marvel too, but I'm mainly finding stuff like this from old DC comics, where this looks more like something in the vein of Edgar Rice Burroughs or Robert E. Howard, these kind of heroic fantasy style adventures, and this is the kind of stuff that I look for now. I grabbed one called Camelot 3000 that just blew my mind. One of the things that I like about a lot of these things that DC puts out, not necessarily with Arion, I've got one called Amethyst, Princess of Gem World, but they're mini series, so they only run for a limited number of issues. So it's a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that's what I want. I don't have time nor the willpower to read a comic book that has 400 issues in it, right? So I do want to collect Warlord. I think I've got a Warlord in here somewhere. I don't own any Warlord. I might own some Warlords. I'd have to check my list, but it had an Arion feature in it, so I snagged that. But I know Warlord has quite a few issues in it. This is issue 12, and then we got 34 here, so I'm just filling in gaps. Yes, you can buy complete runs of stuff like this on eBay, and with a few things I do, but with some of these, I'm just having a blast going into the comic book store and just going through the box. Yeah, I'm looking for specific stuff, but then again, I find stuff that I've never seen before. I am a browser. I love to browse. And so with some of these, I could buy them on eBay and have the complete run, but I want to go through the dollar boxes and fill them in that way. It's like Motorhead said, the chase is better than the catch sometimes. I hope that's not the case. I hope this rules. I hope I'm not chasing this down and then it turns out the whole thing sucks. But I mean, when you've got like 34 plus issues, probably not. It was popular enough to keep going for that long. Darkman, again, another movie tie-in. I love Darkman. Sam Raimi, Liam Neeson, little cameo from Bruce Campbell. I don't know how many issues of this there are. This is the only, they had multiples of this. This is the only issue I found. But if there are more, or maybe it tells the whole story, it feels kind of thick. But definitely had to grab that one. Got some more Electric Warrior. I've got some of these filling in the gaps on this one. This is Doug Mensch, the guy who partially created one of my favorite characters of all time, Deathlock, one of the 2 characters I think that I have his key issue, his first appearance. Went out of my way to get that one just because Deathlock is so bizarre and weird, and I just love that character. But Doug Mensch, he also did Lords of the Ultra Realms, which is another one of those DC maxi series, 12 issues, just gonzo, bizarro fantasy comic books. So, an Electric Warrior, I don't know. I don't know how many issues there are, but again, going through the dollar boxes, filling in the gaps. Great artwork, really weird setting, like futuristic. I guess the Primies are primitive people, because this guy's down here looking like, I don't know, Kazar or something, shooting at these flying robots with a bow and arrow. Good luck, buddy. I'm pulling for you. Super Pro! Another kind of tie-in thing with Marvel and the NFL, trying to create a sports-based superhero. And honestly, not a terrible design costume-wise. And, I mean, with this cover, Joe Jusko, I mean, he lends a whole lot of credibility to anything when he paints it. It can be one of the dumbest heroes, but he's kind of like Ross. Oh damn it, the guy who did Kingdom Come. Anyway, you know, his paintings just look phenomenal. I used to have the trading cards, the Marvel Masterpieces that Joe Jusko did, and so great cover there. Super Pro, I remember seeing this when I was a kid. Thought it looked idiotic. I'm not into sports, but now idiotic is what I'm into. So wanting to go and collect all of these. You've got, I accidentally bought 2 of the first one. Not that it's worth any money. It's just I didn't realize I had 2 of them. I think there was a second #1 that had like a different cover, and I thought that's what I had, because it says representing the Awesome Origin issue, and I thought I had the other cover. But anyway, whatever. I'll put that on eBay for $1 million. Yeah, right. It's just going to half-price books. I love this. Look at that. Now you see him, now you die! Instant replay, the man who walks through time. Hell yeah. Really interesting supervillain. Instant replay. I guess that is the bane of a lot of football players, isn't it? Once the ref goes to review the play. Oh no, don't let him review the play. Damn it, now I've got a flag. Alright. Team America. Not based on Team America World Police. I think this is kind of like inspired maybe by Evel Knievel and the stuntman craze from back in the 70s. I mean, the guy is riding a motorcycle and he's kind of dressed like Evil. Featuring Honcho in a spectacular solo adventure. Another one, I don't think I have #1 yet, so I haven't started reading it. But I love stuff like this. Anything that has to do with some of that like crazy weird stuff that was going on in the 70s, like the trucker craze or the stuntman craze, I'm into that. And yeah, this I was only able to go through like 2 of their drawers of comic books, so hopefully I can find more when I go back, because this kind of stuff, I want to collect the whole. I think there's only 12 issues of this one, but might be kind of fun to read. Pirates of Dark Water, I think I meant to put this one back because I usually don't like to start with number 4. I will not read this until I have number 1. It's only 6 parts, but man, did I love Pirates of Dark Water back when it came on. Just a really unique fantasy setting, unlike most of the things you were seeing. Like, I love my European fantasy, don't get me wrong, but I really dig it when somebody sets something in a world that's more inspired by, you know, something outside of your traditional Euro Lord of the Ringsy kind of stuff. This one had a really like Arabian aesthetic to it. Really cool. As far as I remember, great animation, great character design, really cool backstory. The Dark Water freaked me out, man. Stuff like that, because it reminded me of that thing in Creepshow 2 when those kids are out on that raft and there's that blob. I don't know what it is, but there's something about amorphous, maybe only semi-sapient creatures like the movie The Blob. God, that stuff freaked me out when I was a kid. So the Dark Water, which is like this, it looks like an oil slick on the water, but it eats anything it comes into contact with, and it's like it's taking over the planet. But big Dark Water, I might just go ahead and go on eBay and snag this whole thing, because I don't think I meant to grab this. I mean, I want it, I want to collect it, but I don't think I meant to grab it since it was number 4, and I had to go because it was closing time. Edge of Chaos. This looks like Steve Reeves, the comic book. So, it just really cool cover, Pacific Comics. I don't know what it's about. I mean, the cover kind of tells you what it's about, doesn't it? Sword and sorcery, sword and sandal kind of stuff. Love the bad, I'm assuming he's the bad guy. I mean, you don't make a good guy that looks like that typically. But great artwork. I mean, look at that. It's fantasy and sci-fi all in one. That right there, that's the kind of stuff. Holy crap, you even got nipples. Whoa. Was not a holy macaroni. This is a porno. Was not expecting that. But that's gotta be Steve Reeves. I mean, there's no way they didn't base that off of him from the old Hercules movie. See, there we go, Time Force. There's another one that looks like I gotta get. I love going through these and just finding these old comic books that I had no clue existed. So Edge of Chaos, gonna have to find more of that for sure. Another one that I hope it tells a complete story. We will find out. Atari Force. As I was saying with the Marvel stuff, I guess DC did the same thing. I'm sure Nolan Bushnell probably put up some cash to have them make a comic book tie-in. The thing about this one, I actually went through it a little bit to look at it. And just like with Star Ears, it's such a weird toy line to have a comic book that was that good. But the artwork in this, like, these are things, when you have something that's just kind of a tie-in to something, almost like an advertisement, I feel like you can kind of put your bench warmers on it and kind of half-ass your way through it maybe, but this has really good art. And who does the art? Oh shit, Mike Barron's the writer. Eduardo Barreto and Ricardo Villagran are the inkers. It's got really friggin' good art in it. Like, I'm really surprised by this. And I guess these guys have adventures that are tied to some of the Atari video games. This one's called Tempest. Something Tempest. Tempest Tossed. So maybe it has something to do with the video game Tempest. But super good art. So, and this is number 18. So I'm definitely gonna be looking for these. I want to have the complete collection of the Atari Force. Did this one? I think one of them had like this ad. Where is it? There was an advertisement. Oh yeah, you've got the toy store. UFO Schwartz. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Oh, yeah. See, back in the... How the hell did we survive childhood? Because back in the day, for $1, you could learn the secrets of being a ninja assassin. Like, you just had children roaming the streets assassinating people from the shadows. And it only cost $1. Here we're worried about nuclear weapons, and we should have been worried about kids who are ordering stuff out of comic books. Idol, another one from Epic Comics. No clue what it is, but it looks like it takes place underwater. It's #1, so I can get started on the story, and hopefully it's really cool. This guy looks neat. Character looks cool, so hopefully it's good. Hard Rock Comics, Jane's Addiction. I'm not even a huge... I like Jane's Addiction. Not a huge fan of them. The only two that I know are Perry Farrell and Dave Navarro. But stuff like this, even if I don't like a band, I like hearing their story, because it's, no matter what, it's always an interesting story. You don't get to be a famous rock band without having an interesting story to tell. I don't even know if any one of these guys is Dave Navarro. I'm assuming that's Perry Farrell. But these guys, I mean, hell, that looks like Kenny G. You got Kenny G, Jim Morrison, and I don't know who the hell that is. But I'll check this one out. I've got another one. I can't remember what other band I've got, but I've got this one, and then I got The Doors. Speaking of Jim Morrison, these are from Revolutionary Comics. They are unauthorized and proud of it. So great airbrush art right there. That looks like something you'd see being sold in t-shirt form at a fly-by-night carnival. So pretty good. Part 2 has a picture of Jim Morrison on the cover that is about the quality of what you'd see in one of those Mexican velvet Elvis paintings, which I do want one of those. It's just, his face ain't great. But still, it's awesome. Gotta check that out. Anything like that, that's where I'm at. Propeller Man, I remember seeing this one back in the day, and always wanted to pick it up and never did. So picked it up. I don't even know how many. Oh, there's 8 issues. It's #1 of 8. So I'll snag the rest of these. It's just a really cool, interesting cover. No clue what it's about, but he rides around on a like an airfoil thing, like kind of like the Green Goblin. He's got a propeller on his back, like one of those little ultralights that you see people zipping around on. He's got a couple machine guns on this thing. I've no clue. Was he have like 5 rounds of ammunition? Because I don't see where the hell he's storing all his ammo. But still, really cool, really badass cover. Had to grab it. Looks kind of H.G. Wells Things to Come, steampunky kind of thing. So finally grabbed that one. 50 cents. How could I say no? Now, I go to the comic book store. I went to the comic book store because I'm trying to fill in my collection of Grimjack. And I didn't see any Grimjack comic books there yet, but I didn't go through all of the drawers either. But I haven't read any of the original Grimjack stuff, but I know what it's about, and it's really friggin' interesting, and I love Timothy Truman's art. And I love stuff like this, like these interview magazines, like Amazing Heroes and things like that. Like, it's just such a time capsule into the old days of where we were. And there's a great picture. I would love to, maybe one day, talk to Tim Truman. I actually commissioned him to do a picture for my little brother for his birthday of Conan riding a strange beast like he does in The Hour of the Dragon, pseudo novel that Robert E. Howard did. It was badass. If I can get my little brother to send a picture of it, I'll show it. But I had no clue this is what John Ostrander looked like. Yeah, he just looks like a real dude, man. But check out this picture of Tim Truman. Where is it? Look at him. You gotta love it. Back in the 80s, man. I don't know what he's doing here. Like, why is he covered? Is he in a movie or something? Anyway, I'm just having fun talking. Race of Scorpions. I thought this said Rage of Scorpions. Another one that I did not mean to buy. I put it on my want list and meant to put this back because I want to get I did not see any other issues of this, but it looks really interesting. The artwork looks really cool. It's another fantasy that looks like it's in sort of a Middle Eastern setting. But it's on the want list. Didn't mean to grab this, but again, 50 cents. What am I whining about? Captain Confederacy. I picked up one of these issues at an antique store a while back, thinking that it was just going to be kind of this silly, Southern pride kind of thing. Not racist, but just, the almost like kind of that Dukes of Hazzard vibe. And, but, a superhero, sort of like Captain America, but based on the Confederacy. But it's, I only read that one issue, but it's actually really interesting and way different. It's been a little bit since I've read it, but Captain Confederacy, he's like this television hero for kids, and, he's played by this white guy, of course. But, good Lord. It turns out that they were, if I remember right, they were experimenting on black people. Black people actually got superpowers, and Captain Confederacy doesn't actually have superpowers, but of course he pretends he does because he's on television. So I forget exactly where the story goes, but that's kind of how things play out in it. But it's, really cool artwork, and it's gonna catch your eye when you look at a comic and you see, or you're thumbing through the comics and you see something called Captain Confederacy. That's just, you can't not buy it. They're kind of expensive on eBay. I don't know why, but I might just grab all of them on there because they're also, you don't find them too often in the dollar boxes. So, and this is not one of the ones that people are gonna have in a long box where it's got the little divider that has, Captain Confederacy. We've got all the back issues. So it's one that you really got to hunt down, and it's not like Arion, Lord of Atlantis. You find that stuff all the time, but not this. So I might just go on eBay and pull the trigger and snag it. Conan the Adventurer. I love Conan, and I've never heard of this one. I don't know. It doesn't have the logo for it anywhere on here, but I feel like it's got to be connected to the cartoon from the 90s. Conan the Adventurer. Warrior without fear. Great cover art. I think there's only, I don't know. They had a good run. I didn't find number 1, so I got to get number 1. But I don't see anywhere where it specifically says that it's tied into that cartoon. There's no way it can't be, though, because Conan the Adventurer is so damn specific. But I got from 2 to 14, complete from 2 to 14. Gotta find number 1. No clue. I haven't looked up. No clue how many of these there are. But love Conan, and great art on the covers. And hopefully it tells a complete story. Red Razors, a Dread World adventure. Set in the world of Judge Dredd. Fleetway quality. Now, I've got a few of the Fleetway comics. They reprinted a lot of the 2000 AD comics over here in America during the 90s. But I always thought Fleetway, that name sounded it sounds like a supermarket. So it's just, I don't know, just a random thought I had. What it always makes me think of, Fleetway supermarket. But Red Razors, don't know what it's about. God, I feel like I know this character. I like Judge Dredd, but as with everything that I collect, I am no scholar of it. So I feel like this guy is from like Sob City. What are they? Like from the Armageddon War. I dug it. Anyway, whatever. Had to pick it up. It's number 1. I don't know how many of these they made. I don't think they did like real big runs from Fleetway. Clash. Tom Veitch and Adam Kubert. Looked interesting. Big, thick comics. I got 1 and 3. Got to find 2. No clue what it's about, but just, again, interesting covers. 50 cents. Can't go wrong. Doesn't look like it involves superheroes. So, looks like it could be interesting. I'll check it out. No clue what it's about. And, of course, when you find old Conans, you got to buy them. Some of the best covers ever made. Some King... Oh, there's that Warlord. See there? Warlord Tinderbox. Extra. What is it? Something. Love and Danger with Arion, Lord of Atlantis. This one's kind of jacked up, but I don't ever buy anything anymore for the collector value. Comic books they're gonna be read. And so I really don't care. It's not that I go out of my way to tear them to pieces or anything, but I just don't care about the collector. Is that that looks like the guy from Fire and Ice. That cartoon, that Frank Frazetta cartoon. Garn Danuth? The bad guy. Huh. Interesting. Or maybe... Nah, not Elric. He definitely looks more like that guy from Fire and Ice. Great artwork. Joe Nazaro, the tonometric system, gonna teach me the simplest secret professional muscle men use to build up their bodies in just 90 seconds a day. Get the fuck out of here, dude. No one can get takes 90 seconds to run a cycle of steroids, I guess, or something to shoot yourself up. Get like that in 90 seconds, or even 90 days. But love this stuff. I love the feel. God, that's one thing I miss about comic books that modern comic books don't have, is that newsprint paper, man. There is a comic book company that I just discovered, Alterna Comics. Those guys print their comics on newsprint, and Lord, it feels so good. I just love the way it feels. I love the way the colors look. I just everything about it. I don't want the glossy paper. I want this newsprint. I know it deteriorates, it falls apart. I don't care. I love the way it feels. Nothing lasts forever, guys. So let's, we don't need to try. I guess we can try to make it last as long as we can, but eventually time comes for us all and everything else, and I'd rather enjoy the things out there than not, and I enjoy newsprint comic books. So, oh hell yeah, Megaforce, hell yeah. Deeds not words, baby. Barry Bostwick. Interesting, right? This was Charles Band. Was he still Empire at this time? Yeah, I think he was still Empire. I don't think this was when he went to Full Moon. But I mean, this was gonna be their big franchise. They had toys like G.I. Joes. They had vehicles and everything ready to go for this, and it just didn't do well. And apparently in that new Fall Guy movie with Ryan Gosling, apparently they I think they referenced this or something, which is kind of a weird thing, but it's funny because this jumpsuit in this thing, you can tell he's wearing a jumpsuit, but if you look at the actual picture of the guy in the movie, he almost looks nude because it's more flesh colored and it doesn't look great. But he does have a fabulous head of hair, and we need more manly heroes with beards. Come on. Yeah, Megaforce, right on. I don't love it. Deeds, not words, baby. Anyway, that's it. That's what I went and got at the nothing new, nothing worth any money. Don't care. I just want to be entertained, and I love the quarter boxes, the dollar boxes, the 50-cent boxes. That's where I find all of the stuff that I want to read. Thank you guys so much for watching. If there are any weirdo comic books out there that you guys are aware of, let me know. I might want to check it out. So I'll do more of these in the future. I know this isn't what gets you a million billion views on YouTube, but I don't give a shit. I want to share this stuff. I want to show you guys all these cool comic books y'all didn't know about. Captain Confederacy. And I'll see you guys probably in the next review that I'm cooking up. So thank you so much. Have a great day.